Well, happy Friday, everybody. Today we celebrate Saint Eldred. He was a 12th century monk, Cistercian, who initially was one of the courtiers of the king and eventually became abbot. One of the important points of his life is governing his monastery in mercy and love. And in fact, that grew many vocations to the monastic life in the monasteries that he had under him. And so, even though, today we don't have a lot of monasteries, et cetera, but I do think there's something to say if we can have our parishes throughout our diocese to be governed in love and mercy. We will definitely grow because that's what people are in need of. Speaking of mercy, you have this beautiful gospel passage today, and it's the one gospel that I remember reflecting on, meditating on, that just filled with so much imagery. A couple things, simple. One is the great faith of the guys that thought that they could actually hoist this paralytic that couldn't walk, right? Like they're going to hoist him on the rooftop to then bring him down to Jesus, and in fact, Jesus is gonna save him. The other great faith is the man who was the paralytic, that he actually had the humility to get thrown in the basket and then hoisted down, and that he really thinks Jesus is going to save him. And Jesus says that he saw their great faith as Jesus is teaching everybody. When we that's why it's so important for us to be disciples in the world, because it's through others that we come to know God. And so when you have faith, you radiate that faith to others. That's so important. And we see here in this gospel passage, you don't have to know how to walk, you don't have to, there's a lot of stuff here. All you have to have is that great faith. And what happens with that faith? Well, there's a lot of people that are in darkness, a lot of people that are in sin, and they don't see a way out. But guess what? We can be a vehicle to someone's liberation, to light coming into that. Jesus says, your sins are forgiven. Pick up your mat and walk. Jesus wants us to be vessels of faith so that he can, because it's through his power and authority alone, so that he can bring his people to him. Peace. Have a blessed weekend.